I welcome you with all my love, all my heart. You know, to most of us, the world and the body seems solid. It's because our ideas of the world are more solid than the world is. Words help us reify the world, make solid and permanent objects out of the world. And as long as we live in our heads, which means our thoughts and our seeing, we will think that the world is solid, that our body is solid, and that we are our bodies. But once you sink into your body, into the subtle bodies inside, the emotional body, the energy body, the love bliss body, all these levels of subjectivity on the way to the self, and drop therefore out of the head with the center of your attention in your heart or your gut, your center of gravity, so to speak, drops from the head to the gut, and you live in the energies, you live in the emotions, you live in your own continuous beingness. Which is the lowest level upon everything else is a superposition. When this is seen and felt, because it's a more feeling thing than it is a seeing thing, then you live in fluidity. You live in the energies. You live in bliss. You live in love. Not thinking. And at this level, you see, you intuit, you feel everything is changing, changing, changing. The world is very fluid. It's like pouring oil or ink into a running brook over the rocks, and it spreads everywhere and takes different shapes. Such is our life. Our feelings are always changing. Our feeling of the world is always changing from our heart. The energy field around us is always changing. We can expand it or contract it. And what was seen as real before is now seen to be unreal, because we are immersed in a deeper level than the head. We are immersed in our heart or our gut. We have a new center of gravity. Instead of the head, the gut, our power source. And dwelling there and feeling into the world, we see everything is changing, changing, changing. And we see that all that we had thought was real was just a point of view which disappears when you sink into your gut or into your heart. When you're centered within in the spirit, instead of being without and entombed and ingrained with everything without, instead, when you're just by yourself, watching yourself in the world, all that you ever see is constant changing, changing, changing. There is no solidity to the world. There is no solidity to your body. You are not your body anymore. You are the energies within the body, the sentience within the body, and sinking even lower, you're the empty space of beingness without any identity whatsoever. And thus we have Robert saying, ignore the world. It's not real. Ignore the things of your body. It's not real. Ignore your problems. They're not real. The only thing that's real is that emptiness at your core, the witness of that emptiness, and the changing energies all around you in the internal world and the external world. You see that there's only one consciousness. Internal world and external world are no longer divided, they are one. But the whole thing is constantly changing. There's no identity to be grabbed. So in that sense, with no identities, nothing is real. We can't identify with the body anymore because the body is just an object seen within us. We are far more extensive than the body. We extend to the universe around us. We are everywhere. We are everything. And the illusion that we are a body in space-time on Earth disappears. And all that we are flowing energies, constantly flowing, shifting, and free. Nothing is real. Everything is fantasy. Fantasy because it's not a real, stable object. Our bodies perceived from this level inside are ghosts. The boundary between inside the flesh and outside of the flesh disappears. And everything just becomes moving, shaping, shifting experiences and energies. And pervading all of this is a deep peace, as well as the emptiness and space that we are. And how do we get to this knowledge? You get to it by diving within. Constantly diving within. Now I tell Angela all the time, she doesn't have to dive within, just relax within. But she's right. You have to consciously dive within over and over and over again until it's automatic and you're no longer making effort to be inside. When you attain this, when you are filled with energies and energies are inside you and outside you, your sense of presence is inside you and outside you. The world and you are very fluid, ever flowing, not solid, supple, not caught in any identity. Your freedom itself. Your freedom itself. You're like a pond in the deep forest with running brooks coming into it and trickling out of it. Bubbling, clear water, cool water, totally translucent water. And that's you, that's your energies. Ever liquid, ever changing. But you in everyday life are still forced to act in the world and change your locus of attention from your gut and your heart into your head in order to be able to communicate with others, to use concepts. And then you get lost in the mundane world again. This is how it is. After a while, you contain both. The total emptiness and fluidity within, and yet at the same time being fixed in an object in order to communicate and interrelate in the world. But your basic point of view will be like that of Robert Adams. The world does not exist. The body is not as it appears. It's something entirely else. The body is just a figment, an idea. What there is deeper than that. The energy states, the flowing energies, the flowing love, the flowing of emotions, and just flowing, 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 always in continuous freedom, flowing, always changing, nothing solid. And how do you get here? By becoming the energy. And how do you become the energy? You have to perceive the energies first. I try to help you in satsang by speaking of the energies, by using a certain tone of voice, by using a certain kind of cadence, and by expanding my energetic field to hopefully touching you all. Your job is to just be quiet enough to receive it. Resonate with me. And we all resonate together. We form one Sangha. Many people, but one Sangha. And we all join that fluidity, that flowing love, that flowing ease of being. Can we just sit here for a minute and listen to me? Go inside, dive deep. Get out of your head and go into your body. Sink backwards into your body. Feel your body, feel your heart. Sink into your heart and your gut. When you're in there, feel around for energies, or feel around for your sense of being alive. Can you feel it? Can you feel it if I send it into your hearts or into your guts or into your heads? A little spark of energy, or maybe a major spark. Feel the spark and follow it inwards into yourself. Feel the spark of the life force. The life force is your metabolism. The life force comes from the fetus. It comes from conception. It comes from the combination of the life force acting within consciousness. The life force not only directs our lives, but we can feel it inside of ourselves as mobility, as moving energy without identity. We can feel it directing our lives so that our lives seem inevitable in terms of choices. But we can feel it in everyday situations like now during satsang, when we're quiet and receptive and listening to my voice. And I'm asking you to feel, to perceive the energies within yourself and out. Right now, I have energies circulating in my heart and in my gut. They're going clockwise. They're translucent. Picture that in the center of your being. A ball of energy, oblong ball of energy, going from your heart down into your lower stomach. Spinning clockwise, slowly. You may see it as white light, which indicates the center of your being, or some other color. Let it spin. Feel the energies within you. Feel the life force within you. Feel yourself. Feel the beingness you are, which contains all of these different things. The external world, the internal world, the spinning energy in your body, the feel of your body, the feel of your body from the inside. And if your eyes are closed, the darkness. If your eyes are open, the field of light and sensations around you. Can you feel the energies within you? Can you feel or see the light within you? Can you feel energies within you circulating? Can you feel your sense of presence, which is like a second body that permeates your first physical body, but also extends beyond it? You can feel energies better if you do breathing pranayama, like breathe in for 2 seconds and breathe out slowly for 6 seconds. Breathe in, feeling the energy coming into you from the bottom chakra, going up to the head in 2 seconds, and then just staying there and radiating as you breathe out for 4 or 6 seconds. You can create the feeling of the energies by fantasy processes. This is what Kundalini practices in Kriya yogas are all about is using fantasy to create channels for the energy to flow in. Breathe in, 1, 2. Imagine the energies entering from the bottom chakra at the sacrum, flowing upwards to the top of the head in 2 seconds. And then on exhale, just radiating everywhere for 4 or 6 seconds. Try that. Now, Robert never did breathing exercises except with the I am. He was focused on Ramana's method of self-inquiry, of either asking the question and waiting for an answer, or inhaling with the I and exhaling with the am. But I'm doing a variant on that to get you used to feeling the energy states within. Because once you can feel the energy mobilized entirely within you, the unfolding process is entirely automatic. The Shakti takes over your spiritual development, and you can only assist it to a little bit. But when you have either a Kundalini awakening or what I call a Shakti awakening because of love, after that, all effort of your own is left out because Shakti directs everything inside of you. The key to my approach is to surrender. Surrender to your beloved, if you have one. Surrender to Guru, if you have one. Surrender to God, if you can picture God. Surrender to love, if you can feel the love. And constantly surrender. Give in to yourself. Surrender yourself. Be at the feet of God, surrendering, surrendering, surrendering. Whenever I was with Janet or Dia, my 2 beloveds, I would drop to the ground and touch their feet in total surrender, in total love, in worship. And when I did this, I felt God. God moving within me. God moving within her. A joining taking place, the divines. That is, I worship the divine within them. And by so doing, I felt it in myself. This way you can love God in another, feel God in another as a real person. And it's so much easier loving God in another person than loving God or the divine abstractly without having an object in mind to love. Yeah, one can love Jesus, yes, but Jesus is just a fantasy to you. Just an idea you have. The same with God. Even if you imagine God as white light, it's just imagination. But when you love another, and you're sensitive enough, you can feel the life force in the other. You can feel the divine in the other. You can surrender to God in another and thereby feel God within yourself. There is nothing higher than to feel this surrender. Although the surrender is not enlightenment itself, it's the highest state of human feeling that approaches enlightenment. Continuous surrender will leave you in enlightenment. And gradually over the years that pass, you'll understand the nature of the energies and of consciousness and of yourself. I love you all unconditionally. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Can you love me so that I can feel it? Feel your own sense of presence. Feel that electromagnetic field that's within you and that stretches out some inches or feet from your body and grows bigger or smaller depending upon how much you focus on it. How much time you spend aware inside of yourself, inside of your body, rather than being aware of outside things like everybody else is in the world. Everybody's focused on the world and getting things done in the world, making one's life in the world, taking care of one's family in the world, taking care of pets in the world, taking care of politics in the world. But so little time is spent in oneself because people haven't learned how to be inside themselves. They don't know how to change the focus of gravity of attention away from the external world into the internal world. And that's where you find God, by diving deep within yourself. I love you all. EJ, I love you. Max, I love you. Ken, I love you. Both Padmas, I love you. Angela, I love you. I can't read your name. Ritus, I love you too. Akos is back. I love you too. Spencer, I love you. David, I love you. Will, I can see your head. I guess I can love you. Samira, Angel, I don't see you, so I can't love you. Sebastian and partner, I can love you too. Even though you live in the shithole of the universe. Kathleen, I love you. Kim, I love you. Imra, Michael, I forget what it is. Those Netherlands names are hard. They're too long. The last names are too long. Steve, I don't know which Steve that is. Karsten, yes, I love you. Leopold, I love you even though I can't see you. Jean, I love you. Michael Kajawa, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. But I guess I could love you. Sukai, I love you. I love you all. Feel my love. Feel my love and let it take you deep into yourself. Let it take you deep into your own energies, your own bliss, your own love. Go deep, deeper than you've ever gone before. Go deep into your own energies. Find the energies within yourself. They're so easy to find once you just start looking within and are sensitive to them. They're always going on inside of you, flowing up and down inside of you in various paths, circulating around your heart, going out your fingers and hands and reaching out to the world, going into your face and into your brain. And then for some people who practice Kundalini, they solidify and make real the energies by imagining them going from chakra to chakra along the spine. I remember when I first started practicing meditation about 1,000 years ago, I was practicing 6 hours a day. And I would feel the Kundalini going up my spine. But I have scoliosis, a bend in my spine. And the energy would always get caught around the heart level. And it felt like a lead pencil, 3/8 of an inch thick, being driven up my spine, point first. It was incredibly painful. And it took me 3 months to get it past the heart chakra, up into the throat, through the head, and out to the top. It drilled holes in my head for a long period of time before it learned to escape. And then it flowed forward down my face and back into my heart. So maybe you can feel them by feeling them in me, if you can't feel them in yourself. Can you feel the energies in me? I emphasize energies now more than Robert ever did. Robert did not emphasize them at all. He did not think that they were a way to awakening. But I use them to awaken you to your manifest self, to your light, so to speak, to your own sentience, your own awareness. And once you're aware of your own awareness, you become aware of the emptiness inside of yourself. And that emptiness becomes illuminated with the light of consciousness. And the energies are seen flowing entirely around your being. But at the same time, you're so fluid that the body no longer seems real, and the world definitely does not seem real. All the concepts about your identities as a human being, as a body, disappear because you're immersed in energies. And they're always changing. Emotions are always changing. The kinesthetic feeling inside of yourself is always changing. The balance of the bodies is always changing. So you're no longer solid. You're like liquid or air. You're free. You're free of all concepts, of all guilt, of even your name. I love you all. Please feel it. Please feel it. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. You talked about this before, but why do you think that time when you called Robert and you told him that you were afraid that you weren't real, why do you think that he said, "Of course you're real"?
Because I was frightened and he wanted me to get out of the fear. And he wanted me to realize that you're both. You're both an embodied and incarnated being. And at the same time, you have nothing to do with it at all. And you have to be able to live with that dichotomy. And in meditation and quietness, you can get totally into the liquidity of being energies or nothingness. But during everyday life, you have to learn to come back and pay attention enough to the external world to be able to function in it. Or else you become like Ramana and you don't come back and people have to take care of you. So he was giving me an antidote to his own teachings. Yes, you are nothing, but you're also Ed speaking to me as an apparent discrete entity, speaking person to person. He was giving me an antidote to his teachings of emptiness and non-existence. Anybody else? Let me see, somebody left a question. Of course, BJ, you are included in it. Where are you? Where are you, BJ? I don't see you right now. I guess VJ left. Angela, did you feel energies while I was doing this? Rightus, did you feel them? David, did you feel energies? Sebastian. Spencer, you did too? Kim, did you?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Am I audible? Oh, so I feel energies first, but then I feel so much sadness.
Where do you feel the energies?
Mostly in my belly, I guess. In the lower half of my body. It's like, and in my throat, it's blocked. And then I get so sad, and then I just have to cry.
That's it. Good. I'll tell you, sadness is the best feeling to feel because it can take you right down to your core. Sadness will take you, following sadness will take you directly into your core. Now, the sadness maybe become because of, there are many things. I feel sad a lot. But I notice that sadness is such a delicious, sweet feeling to have. It treats you so gently.
That's
so
true.
Lovingly. It's like one of those comforters made out of feathers. It just covers you and wraps you in its embrace, and it's so very sweet. Now, if it gets stronger and it gets into depression, that's where it gets weighty, and that's where you have to follow it down inside of yourself. But sadness, if you follow sadness, sadness will take you everywhere you want to go in spirituality. It's the most wonderful feeling except for love. Sadness is the next best thing. And I'm glad you're feeling energies in the bottom of your body. That means that you can integrate those energies with the top of the body later and feel them circulating all over, but at least your bottom chakras are firing. And that's a good, strong beginning. The sadness will take you right down into your belly again and let the energies percolate.
Thank you.
Go percolate your energies.
I will. Thank you.
Sure. Jonah, are you feeling physically better? Walker, how is your vision? Has it improved at all?
Vision's the least of my problems.
What's that?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Vision's okay. I actually had dengue fever a month ago,
Oh,
and it knocked me flat, but it made me so sensitive. I felt like after crawling out of my bed after a month, the whole world was stupid and intense.
stupid, intense.
Stupid. People directing their energies outward and their minds full of stuff. And after being knocked out for that month, I was kind of half in and out of consciousness. And when I came back to consciousness in my own little world, it was kind of okay. But going out with people has been, I'm less shocked now, but it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable time.
It's not comfortable being amongst ordinary people. Family is especially hard because they're directed at, past relationships, the last 30 years you had with them, and the solidified feelings you have for each other. There's nothing fluid. They don't join you anywhere except in ideas.
Yeah.
And people that are ordinary people that work in an office, that do carpentry, etc., they're kind of useless when it comes to spirituality because they have no inner life. The inner life is dictated by their external life. It doesn't go any deeper. So it becomes harder and harder for spiritual people to function in the world because they don't feel understood. They don't feel accepted. They feel like they're a stranger in a very strange land. And that's the way it felt most of my life from the time I was about 9 onward. Like, what the fuck is this? Because I was directed inwards and everybody else was directed outwards. And everybody else had these conceptions and these ideas and goals and plans, like everybody in the Netherlands has. Everything is planning, thinking. Right, Angela? Your father's a prime example. And your fight to get away from that. Angela is the first person I ever met that has deliberately tried to remain stupid her entire life so as not to be weighted down by too many concepts. I, on the other hand, have become stupid despite the concepts. And Walker did too, because of the dengue fever. Any other questions?
Hi, Ed. I'm here.
Yes.
Very early in the morning here.
Oh, you in Australia?
Yes. Shane recommended. But Ed, when we see that we are the illusion, and that everything is the illusion, then, and you're coming from your heart, mean, then you're in me. Everything's in me.
Yeah, that's true. And we treat each other differently then too, don't we?
Well, and it's in the dream.
Yes.
So it's only in the moment.
What's
You know,
your,
if you
do you have a problem with that?
Pardon?
Do you have a problem with that?
Are you asking me, or are you
Yes.
making a statement?
No, I'm asking you, do you have a problem with that state?
Can you say what that was again? Sorry.
Well, you just made a statement
Yes.
that when you see everything as an illusion, everything is within you. That means I am within you, you are within me. You seem to
Yes.
say it in a way that it was a problem. Is it a problem for you?
What would you say? It's like integrating it.
Give it time.
Hmm.
It just takes time.
And I think it's like to trust
What?
the inner realm, the guide. Like what you said before, at some point it all just is done.
I don't understand you.
Oh, you said before, at some point, it's just being done. You reach a point.
Yes, yes. Yeah, you're in a place where your sadhana is unfolding automatically. You really don't have to do much except to be aware of it.
Yeah, and it's like let go, let go, let go, let go.
Yes, surrender. Surrender to whatever is happening in the moment.
Continually, and it's quite easy. Yeah. But this is lovely being with you. Do you know Barry Long? I was with him for many years, and he was similar.
I know of him. I don't know him. I know Shankarananda, and Shankarananda is my best friend in the whole world.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you for this lovely just being.
Shankarananda and I used to be very close. We used to be best buddies, hanging around Los Angeles and Santa Monica, being pursued by Chidvilasananda and her goons while trying to promote Nityananda's talks. It was very interesting times. We got along famously. And we were born 4 days apart, 400 miles apart. He was born in New York. I was born in Cleveland, 4 days apart. I'm the older and the wiser of the two.
I don't know who that is, but it's the same, the thing of beingness when you're entering into sensation.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I knew, and you're teaching that. Something.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question, Ed.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? When you described the energy kind of going up and over the head and down into the heart, I can feel that, but I get a lot of, it's not happening as much now, but I get a lot of pressure in my head. Like it feels like my head's like a balloon being blown up. And it's like, sometimes if it's real intense, it can be painful at the top of my head. Does that make sense at all? Is there anything you can talk to?
Yeah, it's just Kundalini trying to drill a hole through your cranium into the external chakras above your head. And then it will return down the front of your body as a very gentle, smooth current into your heart. But it can get rambunctious when it's going up the spine and through the top of your head. It can be painful. It was very painful for me for 6 months or so. So just learn to tolerate it. It's no big deal.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I just want to encourage you to come to satsang. Get a hit of the prana, of the energies while you're here. If anything, if you want something to read Jan Esmond's book, Kundalini Tantra, or take a basic course in quantum touch, where you learn how to perceive the energies within you and to actually use them for a useful purpose. Doing either of these things with the exercises provided of invigorating the chakras. Got to understand this is all fantasy work. You're working with fantasies to wake up the energies within you. But it works. It's all a fantasy process. The whole world is a fantasy process. And you...
sorry.
What?
I bought Jan's book last night. It's a funny coincidence.
It's a good one.
Mm.
And with these fantasy processes, you can actually learn how to master the world to a certain degree. The life force allows you to have certain degree of control over the outcomes in your life. You can do certain things like Alan, whatever his last name, in Quantum Touch does, by picturing it, allowing it, and doing various exercises to change the external world in certain ways, like in healing or in doing things in your life, accomplishing goals. The life force allows a limited amount of being modified from the path it has set for you before you started interfering with it. So you can take advantage of it by feeling the energies within yourself and learning how to manipulate those energies to get better health, or to give health to another person, or to wake up all the chakras in you and go into samadhi. And after you go into samadhi, to have awakening like Angela had a couple of weeks ago. And then you have to learn how to recreate it over and over and over again as it sort of slips away inevitably because of everyday life outside. Angela, I got to get you to say something. What are you going to say to me today? Come on, come on.
I don't know.
What do you got to say for yourself?
Well,
So far, you've been brilliant.
I don't have so much to share, actually.
Are you feeling the energies now?
I felt them before, and now they're gone again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love you all. Read Jan's book, or read Richard Gordon's first book, The Healing Touch, or something like that. It's the simplest book. Elaine's is much more complicated. This will get you used to using the fantasy process within to further explore your innards by coordinating the various chakras, waking them up, making them one-pointed, feeling full body orgasms as all the chakras are firing, and to go into samadhi. Read my daily postings on Facebook too. Comment on them if you want. But keep in touch that way. Keep in touch. Send me emails if you want. Ask questions. I love you all. Next week, same time, 11 o'clock Arizona time, which is also Los Angeles time. Bye-bye.